Reaching the end of the job interview, the Human Resources Officer asks the young engineer fresh out of MIT, "And what starting salary are you looking for?" The engineer replies, "In the region of $125,000 a year, depending on the benefits package." The interviewer inquires, "Well, what would you say to a package of 5 weeks vacation, 14 paid holidays, full medical and dental, company matching retirement fund to 50% of your salary, and a company car leased every 2 years, say, I don't know, maybe a red Corvette?" The engineer sits up straight and says, "Wow, are you kidding?" And the interview replies, "Yes, but you started it." Hello everyone, I am Stephanie Rayleigh, and today we are going to have a conversation about technology integration and how to apply certain frameworks to your classroom so that your students have an opportunity to sit in front of the Human Resources Officer and request a large salary and obtain that salary. No joke. Let's start with Technology Integration Planning, TIP. This model is for teachers that are new to technology. The design of this model is laid out in 5 phases. Each phase helps the teacher to plan for effective classroom uses of technology to enhance traditional teaching by adding the lessons and activities using best practices, strategies, and materials to ensure that technology will be efficient and successful in meeting the classroom and student needs. We want our students to be prepared for the jobs of the future. Let's look at how Technology Integration Plan works. Phase 1. Determine the relative advantage of the technology. Why do you need this technology in your classroom? Is it going to help the students with problems? What will it bring to your classroom? Phase 2. Decide the objectives. How will you measure the progress of this technology? Will you have tests? Will you have assignments? Determine the objectives. Phase 3 is the design integration strategies. How will you use the technology to improve your teaching methods? Phase 4 is to prepare the instructional environment. You need to make sure that you have a positive integration. Do you need computers? Do the students know how to operate them? What assistance will you need from other teachers to make this plan a success? Phase 5. Evaluate and revise integration strategies. Look at what technology improved in the classroom and what it did not improve. Evaluate the progress and revise the technology to increase what did not score so well and continue to increase the progress.
Teacher is the one who knows what each of our kids need, and so just like in the area of curriculum, we're going to do that with technology. And so me having control of the technology in my classroom, I know what my abilities are, I know what my students' abilities are. I'm able to push myself and push my students based on what is contained within this room.
The SAMR model was created by Ruben Pintura. It is a model designed to help educators infuse technology into teaching and learning. The model supports and enables teachers to design, develop, and infuse digital learning experiences that utilize technology. Let's listen to what Dr. Ruben Pintura has to say about the SAMR model.
It's very important for people to feel comfortable with the tools, to evolve their practice. So it's just fine for people to say, look, I'm going to start doing what I already do at the substitution to augmentation level. So incorporate the tools, enhance my current practice, and when I'm comfortable with that, move on to incorporating elements at modification to the definition. That's a perfectly valid approach. In fact, to be honest with you, I think it's the approach that will work for most teachers.
So a few examples of how you could use your SAMR model in your classroom is to substitute. You might use an iBook instead of reading an article in a book or handing out photocopies. In the augmentation phase, you might have a student record an interview of their life history with music and sound effects rather than writing an essay. During the modification phase, you might have the students interview veterans from various wars, then edit the recordings to place them in the correct timeline of events. Instead of doing a poster by individual students, it could be a group project. In the redefinition phase, they can place this interview with veterans out on the cloud for others to add to or comment on and have communication potentially around the world.
One of the things I see happening in classrooms that are very successful at incorporating tools at the modification and definition level is I see students taking charge of their page. Those are classrooms where the students are just waiting for something to happen. There are classrooms where students say, wait, people doing this, but I also want to do this other thing, and I can see a better way of doing that. And there's a certain excitement, a certain ownership of the learning. There's a certain joy in figuring out, gee, I could do this in a different way and bring something different or new to my students. And I think keeping teaching practice as something enjoyable, lively, the reason that so many teachers become teachers in the first place, keeping the passion alive. So again, a continual re-examination of practice allows me as a teacher to make the best possible use of the technology to accomplish my goals.
LOTI, LOTI, is an acronym for Levels of Teaching Innovation. It focuses on the delicate balance between instruction, assessment, and the effective use of digital resources to promote a higher order of thinking, engage student learning, and authentic assessment practices in the classroom. The Technology Integration Matrix, TIM framework, provides a framework for describing and targeting the use of technology to enhance learning. Dr. James Welch gave an excellent review of how the TIM model works. Let's listen.
The Technology Integration Matrix, or the TIM, is a model that provides a common language for describing and evaluating technology integration in K-12 settings. The TIM describes 5 attributes of meaningful learning environments across 5 levels of technology integration. The TIM specifically focuses on pedagogy and the pedagogical approach you use to technology integration. The levels are entry, adoption, adaptation, infusion, and transformation. These 5 levels represent a continuum of technology use. In general, as we move toward the right, we see greater student ownership of learning.
Technological, pedagogical, and content knowledge, TPAC, attempts to identify the nature of knowledge required by teachers for technology integration in their teaching, while addressing the complex, multifaceted, and situated nature of teacher knowledge. Let's watch this 2-minute video that tells us about TPAC.
Here's TPAC in 2 minutes. For more information, visit tpac.org. So first we have to ask, what is it? Well, TPAC is a framework that combines 3 knowledge areas: our technological knowledge, content knowledge, and our pedagogical knowledge. And it looks at how they work together to increase student motivation and to make the content more accessible to students. We look at the content as the what. It's the subject matter we're teaching, like ecology, music, algebra, health, geometry, or art history, to name a few. Then we look at our pedagogical knowledge. It's the how. Every teacher has tools, so let's put them to use. Are we going to be using direct instruction? Will this be inquiry-based, group discussions? How are we going to make the content more accessible by the way we present it to our students? Then we look at selecting the appropriate technology because it's the partner. What tool will we select to make the content more accessible to the students while supporting the pedagogical strategy which we've identified will help to deliver this information to students? We must identify those support features to really help us use technology to reach our outcome. As we understand them individually, we can start to see overlaps. Our TP knowledge allows us to understand how we're making the content more accessible. Our TC knowledge allows us to identify the affordances of pairing the appropriate technology to the content. And our PC knowledge allows us to identify the affordances of pairing the appropriate pedagogical strategies with the content. TPAC comes from the overlapping in that center spot, or as we refer to it as the sweet spot, when all three knowledge areas work together. It's crucial to remember that surrounding this is the context. That's you and your students. This may look differently when you walk into classrooms because at the heart of TPAC is meeting students' needs.
It's about the process that is created and the outcome of what the students can do with that piece of technology. Be creative, be innovative, explore, touch the real life, touch the global world. And it's going to prepare them for a competitive workforce, and it's going to help them meet their goals because this world is changing, and for the technology is also going to help them come up or seek out the jobs that are not even available yet.
In this presentation, we have introduced you to 5 frameworks. Each offers a different level of technology integration. Which framework appeals to you? Which approach will you take to give your students the boost they need to enter the future of technology? Remember, to us, $125,000 is a great salary. To the students that we teach, it could be peanuts. The world is changing at a very high rate of technology. We must keep up. Thank you for watching this presentation.